In our first video, we looked at an overview of the tools that you'll be using as a independent contractor for Tree52.com. In this second video, we're going to focus on the school's data research tool. But before we do that, let's take a look at one of the better pages on Tree52 for high school students. Pay particular attention to the two images on the left and the right of the main part of the school information frame there. Having good graphics like this really makes the page pop, and it makes the visitor's experience much more rewarding. So that is the main focus of what you're going to be doing is to helping get especially those two graphics in for a lot of schools. Okay, returning back to the contractors page, we click on the schools tool, and that brings up the tool. Generally, you're going to work from the top to towards the bottom of the form on the right hand side. First thing you want to do is look at the name of the school, the town, and the state, and the county. Get those in your mind. And then start with, generally, the first Wikipedia link. This will bring you to the article in Wikipedia that generally lists the high schools in that state. Try to find that school in the list. Now, this isn't very helpful to us in this case, which is often the case, in that there doesn't seem to be an article for that high school in Wikipedia. But let's not trust this list. Let's actually double check that using the second Wikipedia link, which puts the name of the school into the search field. And we are not seeing any articles, so apparently it was not lying to us. So our next, usually we fall back to the Google search to see if we can find the official web page of the school now. Google search results generally open in another window or a tab. Google does not allow us to embed their pages in our pages, so we cannot see that in this changeable frame here. Okay, now we need to verify that we've found the right page. It's very important that you be as accurate as possible. The only thing worse than a bad image is a totally wrong image. This does appear to be close to the right page. This is the school district's web page. So you want to verify and make sure there's no other website for this high school itself. Generally there's going to be a schools link somewhere in a school district page. And that should be here. And I don't see any other links to another website. Sometimes they have a mini website on the school district and you have to go to the main one. But this appears to be the main site. So we're going to copy the URL and paste that into the proper field on our form. Now while we have the website pulled up, you get an idea what the colors are, what kinds of graphics they're using for the team mascot images. A lot of times you'll find a good photo for the school itself. Normally this would be a good one, except when the website displays the photo, it's gonna crop it to a vertical, tall vertical version of whatever it has to work with, and there's not going to be a whole lot there except a piece of the sign and a piece of the roof. So we're going to try to find a better image for the school. We also try to avoid having any people in these photos too. We're interested in the school, not certain individuals. Now, we still don't have the colors of the team name, but let's concentrate on the building and the mascot images right now. Coming down to this section, we have links specifically for images. Generally, I will start with the Google Images, the no quotes link. That generally bears the most fruit the earliest. This is the current makeup of the Google Images result page. We're going to be looking for a school building and a team mascot. As the home page showed, it's probably the Brookings Bobcats. And knowing whether it's a picture like this is actually of the school or not, sometimes when you hover over it, the information displayed below it will help you. But if you're not sure, open the link in a new tab and then see what the page looks like. Okay, it's still showing us that picture. Now it's showing us a bunch of pictures, and it's not really telling us what they are of, so which is not terribly helpful right now. So let's go back. Let's try Bing, but let's try the no quotes version of it as well. And it's going to open up here in this left frame. And it's showing us a bunch of yearbook things, which tells us that the yearbook is called the Bobcats, so the team mascot's probably the Bobcat. So let's go ahead and grab the yearbook name while we have it. See what else we can find. This is a possibility. We'll investigate it further. Now, still not enough information in that label there to verify for sure that we're looking at, but we're going to go ahead and copy the image URL and then click down here to see the page itself. This article obviously is dealing with a lot of schools in this area. I'm just not seeing any evidence that this article deals with the high school itself. In fact, it seems to entirely be about a central elementary school. So we're striking out there. Now, if your focus is on making as much money in a shorter period of time as possible, you would have abandoned this article by now and gone on to another school. It doesn't matter if you start a school and then don't finish it, or if you only do part of a school. The school will come up again later in other people's rotations, and there will be other opportunities to spend more time and get the information. We'll try a few of the other links. This is the Bing search with the actual school name in quotes. And now the school name is kind of, apparently they use a number in their system sometimes. So we're going to grab that picture, which looks promising, off on another tab right now. But let's go ahead and redo this query without that 0, 1 in the search terms. Another trick you can do is to add to the search terms building, sign, entrance are often useful. Now it's certainly showing us more buildings, but that's obviously not a school, and that's probably not very useful. Now this actually says Brookings High School on it, and envisioning what this is going to look like on the site, it's going to chop off the left and right sides. We might get a piece of the main entrance, but this is so far is the best image we've found. So we're going to go ahead and copy the image URL. And remember, if you're using a different browser, you're going to have different options on the right mouse click. I forget what they are for Firefox and some of the others, but you need to determine that for whatever browser you're using. This is Google Chrome we're using right now. So we'll put the building image to that field. Now let's try some more of the Google images. That one doesn't work if it doesn't have a short name for the school in the record, which it often doesn't yet. So that's not terribly useful. We've already gotten this one. This weird name is getting in our way a little bit. Let's see what this one is. Appears to be a newspaper office. Well, this has turned out to be a lousy example for the beginning tutorial video on these, though it does point out that sometimes the information sought can be rather elusive. So we're going to let it go with this one building, but I'm also going to take advantage of something that doesn't happen very often, which is we are missing the school colors and the team name. Now some of these links up here are helpful for that. Coach's Aid has a site that often is useful for finding those pieces of information, but you have to go to it twice. The first time you go to it, you have to make sure that the state is the one that you're working in. And we're looking for South Dakota, so we change that. Now it'll remember the last state you're on. So if you click the link again, it may come up with a list of the schools that you're interested in. If it doesn't, since we're in South Dakota, let's go ahead and look in the state for Brookings. And there it is. It is indeed the Bobcats, and red and black are the colors. Now a lot of times, since these are in the exact format that we want, you can drag them. Well, normally you can drag them. Because I'm trying to explain this in a public video, it's not going to cooperate. Okay, well, we've managed to get 3 pieces of information. I'm going to, because I can make an executive decision like this, decide that the -01 is not really a good part of that name. I'm going to change the school name as well. Be careful about changing the school names, but if it's obvious and you have good common sense, and if you've been working this tool for quite a while, get a feel for what we want to have up there, go ahead and change that name. If there's a problem with it, it will, of course, everything will be reviewed, and we can revert back if we need to. While I'm thinking about it and we're looking at it, high school in the school name field is always abbreviated capital H period, no space, capital S period. When it's displayed, those abbreviations are expanded into the words high school. But for brevity's sake, so we have some long school names sometimes, we do abbreviate the words high school. Those are pretty much the only words that we abbreviate other than junior and senior. Now we've done about as much good as we can do in a reasonable amount of time with this school, so we're going to go ahead and click Save Changes. And most of the time it will bring up that old page with the changes displayed in the left side. And this shows how that school building image has been cropped, and it crops to the center. So this is not an ideal photo, but it's a lot better than some of them are. And if you've attended that school or you live in that town, this will be a familiar image to you, even if it's just showing part of the entrance. Let's return back to our dashboard and refresh the page. And this shows that we've completed 8/10 of one work unit, because we only got one of the high value images, and that we've earned a whopping whole 3 cents monthly for that roughly 5 minutes of work. Over here in the earnings timeline, it shows that if that's the only work you ever do and you throw up your hands and say, I'm through with this, you will get 3 cents a month for the next 24 months. And in actuality, over time, that 5 minutes earned you 72 cents. Not a really impressive number, but as you become more competent and experienced with this tool and find that you are able to continue to put in half an hour a day on average, perhaps, these numbers will actually start to become a significant source of side revenue for you. This concludes the second video, and the next video we'll try to cover some of the topics that we didn't cover with this tool in those videos.